Hello friends and welcome to another colour along. Today we are colouring from Steampunk Revival, my latest book, and we are colouring a Brisk walk, which is this magnificent dragon who's been accompanying this purposeful looking Victorian-esque steampunk girl wearing a cool top hat and reading as she walks. And I guess this is a guard dragon or something she's created. Whatever story works for you. Now I do have a sheet of paper and a sheet of acetate under this page because I'm going to use markers and I don't want that to bleed through. Well, let's kick it straight off. I was thinking of doing some fun things with this and I want to play with them because this is obviously a metal steampunk dragon, and I was going to play with sort of trying to make washes from the Ohuhu markers. So I'm just going to play with a little area here and see how we go. I was going to kick off with a frost blue. And I'm going to work in little sections because I want all of my markers to sort of blend in with each other. So this is a frost blue, and then I'm going to come in with a pale blue-grey. Just sort of blend that up into it. I want to throw a little bit of a greeny, so I've got horizon blue here, no, horizon green here. And then I think a little bit of, I've got crescent yellow, which is a lovely light yellow. And because I've worked those all when they're wet, they're sort of all blending in, giving us this nice sort of blue metal sort of vibe. Right, oh, I've got that there. I'm going to bring in a cool grey. No, this is a neutral grey, 040. I just want to add in a little bit of shadow. And hopefully that also will blend in. So this I want to roll out on a lot of the panels around this dragon. The yellows I'm thinking are going to be reflecting the light that's coming from here, and the purpley blue, the pale blue-grey, is going to be reflecting the shadows, I guess, and then the yellow is going to be like light reflections, and then the two blues will sort of blend in to create an opalescent effect. That's the theory anyway. Back to the frost blue. And I'm just going to pick out panels. So this looks like a good panel. And the fun thing is we've got these swirls, which we'll hopefully be able to come back at later with a different colour, pale blue-grey. I don't know if you can hear those birds out there. It's nesting season for magpies. So they've all gone a little bit nuts. But we'll forgive them because they're protecting their nests. All right, here's our crescent yellow. And we're just going to try and create some highlights. Sort of use it to blend it in. And while that's all still wet, I'm going to bring that neutral grey 040 in. So we're sort of giving ourselves a watercolor wash effect using markers, which can only be a good thing. So those four colours, that's all I'm doing is mixing those four colours. And for some reason, the crescent yellow just seems to bring it all together. When I say four colours, I wasn't including this neutral grey 040, which I'm putting in there for shadows. Back to our frost blue. And our pale blue grey. A little bit of horizon green. And then to top it all off, our crescent yellow. Just bring in some highlights. And we're back to our frost blue. And the fun thing is about this is we've got to work out which bits of metal are which colour. So I'm thinking of doing all the bits of metal that aren't blue, like a silver, like a steel colour. Using sort of greys and stuff. Anyway, pale blue grey. A little bit of horizon green. And then our crescent yellow, which for some magic reason makes it all work. If you haven't seen the last Mr. Fogarty one I did where he's Alien Intervention, I think it's called, where I accidentally used a colourless marker, which is, I think I had yellow still in the nib. So I was trying to do the glass helmets, and the yellow just really made those glass helmets pop accidentally because it was in the nib of my colourless blender. So I started adding it. So this could be a follow-on from that in some sense. Or I think these little bits should be that sort of bluey metal. Now pale blue grey. Then a little bit of our horizon green. A little bit of crescent yellow. All right, back to our frost blue. Let's work our way up his neck. It's got this little, it's almost like a logo star, isn't it? Well, maybe we go here. And this can all be dark skin. All right, that's our frost blue. Let's bring in our pale blue grey. Yeah, a little bit of horizon green. Crescent yellow. I'm bringing back my frost blue. I'm going to do this whole thing, I think. That frost blue. The challenge here is going to be not to colour in these little patterns that are on his back, because I want them to be a different colour, almost like they're like inset LED lights or something, or whatever steampunk equivalent there is of that. Maybe they're just revealing the glow that's inside the fires that are burning. And I think maybe we do this as well. All right, pale blue grey. Let's bring our pale blue grey out. A bit of our horizon green. And then that crescent yellow to finish it off. All right, a little bit more frost blue. Pale blue grey. A little bit of Helsinki green. No, not Helsinki green. What is this? This is horizon green. You're thinking I've got it by now. I've been saying it over and over. And now crescent yellow. All right. Starting to look like shiny blue metal a little bit, isn't it? Right, this is our frost blue. There's so many different ways you could colour this. Those little fun panels that are making up this dragon. I'm going to bring in my pale blue-grey again. And I want to get a nice bit of shadow under that eye. And maybe under here as well. Certainly on that one. All right, our horizon green. Actually, I prefer putting this on with the fat brush. It sort of goes more with that wash that we were doing. And our crescent yellow. I think we need some more even, some more of these panels. Let's go. This one here looks like a good one to do, frost blue. Let's even work our way up his, what are these, whiskers, tentacles? I think this little lump, which indicates the eye on the other side. Okay, pale blue, grey. Some of our horizon green. Our crescent yellow. And I was umming and ahhing about this section, but I think I'm going to go there as well. Pale blue, grey. I really want to get that into these shadowy areas. Help us differentiate those panels. And I'm really enjoying using these as sort of a wash. Right, some of our horizon green comes back. And our crescent yellow to blend it all together. Now we do have more legs, so let's make our way back down the body to the legs. And just going to do this all in one section. And our pale blue-grey. A bit of that Helsinki. I think I kept calling it her Helsinki. It's horizon green. And then our crescent yellow to finish that off. Right, now we did forget, or we didn't, I did, about colouring in our shadows. So let's grab our neutral grey 040. Just pay some attention to our shadows here. And then these legs are in the background, so I'm thinking we need to really get some shadows onto those, because they'll be blocking the light from that little tummy there. All right, let's look at, well, first of all, let's get, I was thinking some yellows. I'm going to get that crescent yellow and maybe a canaria yellow into these little symbol things that are painted all over this dragon. I was tempted to do them like a hot pink or something, but I think that just might be too much of a distraction to all the other colours. But if I do them this yellow, but the crescent yellow is just our base. This canary is really going to, let's do it over here. Pick it out, brighten it up, take it so that it stands out. You think so? It stands out, looks like it's a light source, but it's not overwhelming us. I think even this little thing could be that yellow. All right, I'm bringing the canaria yellow back. I don't want to colour all of it in on the canaria. I'm hoping is just going to be helping to pop that. So I'm leaving crescent yellow to be seen, the lighter colour. All right, I'm going to bring in some, this is light hydrangea. It's just a little darker than this pale blue-grey we were using earlier. I'm going to get that into the wings. And then I'm bringing in pale blue violet. It's just a bit darker. Still thinking along the lines of that, doing a wash. So we've got some variations in tones, and let's even play with a little bit of that crescent yellow. All right, I like those colours. I'm going to use those colours to highlight little things. For example, this. Maybe even the tip of this tail. So that's our light hydrangea. And I think this could be just little highlights. And I'm bringing in that pale blue violet, which is just a little bit darker. We'll even play with a little bit of that crescent yellow. Just to give it highlights. It'll also help tie it all in. I think that light hydrangea might work well here. Yeah, pale blue violet. And just a tiny bit of crescent yellow on this one. I think we have crescent yellow toenails. All right, back to the light hydrangea. Bit of pale blue violet. And just a touch of crescent yellow. Now, I don't want to go overboard on this, but I do want to pick out some things. So let's do these little seals around these tubes. It's always going to look good, isn't it? Yeah, I think we could do these things as well. What about these eyebrows? Pale blue violet. And just a little bit of our crescent yellow. Neutral grey 40, let's bring that back because I want to put some shadows in to our wing. Right, I'm going to segue now into the steely bits, the metal bits. 3 neutral greys. This is neutral grey 021. Let's just do this bit here to test it out. This is a light grey. And then we're going to build up to our 040. And I want to leave the light there, and then I'm going to bring in 051 neutral grey. Then bring back our 021 just to give us an extra little bit of a blend. And the idea is just to bring in a little bit of white pencil. I'm just doing this for fun because I don't want to wait. You see how that's just going to really pump that out for us? All right, let's roll that out across all our thick bits that we think look like they should be steel. I think this tummy looks like it should be steel. So 021 and up to our neutral grey 040. Then an 051. Probably even add some extra on this leg down here. Then maybe we should blend that a bit. The other thing to do would be to play with a little bit of that crescent yellow, maybe here. This is the 21. Here's the 040. And just a touch of the 051. A bit of the crescent yellow, not too much. Actually, around here I might put that in as there's a fire in there which will be spewing light out. It's just because I want to bring a white pencil in. I'm wondering about whether that's going to work on here, which I think it will. Let's keep going with our metals, shall we? Neutral grey 021. I'll move that up to the neutral grey 040. And the 051. A little bit of crescent yellow, not too much. And then back to our neutral grey 021. just to give us a bit of a blend on that. Okay, neutral grey 021. All the way out to our snout. Neutral grey 040. A little bit of that neutral grey 051. Touch of crescent yellow. And back to our neutral grey 021, just to blend some edges. I'm bringing a darker grey in. This is a neutral grey 080, because I just think these pipes and things need to be nice and dark. And just add a little bit of tiny touches of little bits of darker in the shadows in different places. All right, neutral grey 021. I was going to do these dark, but I think I'm going to do them all lighter grey. I'm bringing in my crescent yellow and do some little more yellowy highlights. And I'm going to bring the Canaria in. There are some bolts falling off the back of this little guy, so I'm going to do a 021 neutral grey and then a 040 neutral grey. And I think 021, actually let's do 040 first. And then our 021. And I think Canaria yellow inside our little fire here. And what about some apricot orange? And a touch of French vermilion. All right, let's move our eyes from our dragon to this lady in her dress. And I think I'm going to give her a purple dress. I'm going to start with a colour called Mallow. Let's just play with that. I'm careful to leave this lace white, or you could be more careful than I was just then. So I'm going to go mallow and then a purple mallow. Once again, I'm going to try and get sort of a wash vibe. I want to leave the mallow as the highlight. Sort of dig in shadows in with that purple mallow. I'm going to even bring a violet in. Maybe a little bit more purple mallow. And I might just blend with that mallow. What do you think? I think that's going to work. So this is mallow. And then I'm going to bring in some purple mallow. There's a little bit of violet. Well, that's our mallow. This is our purple mallow. And get some violet in those deep shadows. Back to our mallow. Purple mallow. And a little bit of violet just to block in those shadows. And I think I'll do that violet on the shadow on the other side of the dress that we can see at the bottom here. Right, let's do the hat the same colour because I'm sure she would be coordinated. Purple mallow. And a violet. And just a bit of mallow to blend that. Well, let's get our crescent yellow out. Got this bow. Let's play with a bit of crescent yellow there. I'm even going to bring my canaria in. And I think a touch of French vermilion. And I think these feathers could be pale hydrangea. With a little bit of pale blue violet. I even think pale blue violet on the book cover. Alrighty, I've got skin white here. And I'm going to do skin white. But you could do the skin whatever colour you would like. And then I'm going to bring in further colour of skin to add in some shadows. Alright, I've got some shell white. I'm just going to do the pages of this book in shell white. And I'm going to bring in my colourless blender. Just take some of that out. Right, I've got some boots here. I'm going to do some neutral grey 051. And then some neutral grey 080. Now let's go with some dark brown and some dark bark for the hair. So this is dark brown. Then a little bit of dark bark. And I've got a couple of little flowers over here, and I think I'm going to make those petals mallow. And I've got the dark brown that I used in the hair. I'm going to make the centres of the flowers that dark brown. And I'm going to put a little bit of horizon green. Just a touch. All right, I'm going to grab my crescent yellow. I just want to play a little bit with the crescent yellow on this dress because I want to sort of pump out some highlights. Oh, look at that. A little bit of magic there, people. Just brought that dress to life. All right, now let's take a good look at the background. Now I have been playing with concepts. I was wondering about doing it like this, but then I think the dress might disappear. But if we do that, like more like a sunsetty background. So I'm going to go that way. So I'm going to start with a deep teak, go to about there, and then gradually work our way down in intensity of colour. So let's start with our deep teak. And I'm going to try and not blur everything together as much as I'm able. All right, here's about where I'm going to change from deep teak to yellow ochre. All right, we'll just take that up to about there. And then I want to bring in a shallow earth because I want to blend that into that yellow ochre. All right, then I'm bringing in a Naples yellow. All right, I'll bring back in my yellow ochre to about there. Then I'm bringing in the shallow earth. And then we move on to our Naples yellow. All right, I'm just going to bring some frost blue in because I noticed I missed this little tentacle back here. And my Naples yellow, because I missed that little bit there. Got some pale blue grey. Just put a little bit of colour in this eye. And neutral grey 051. Add some shadow into that. All right, let's just play a little bit with the top here. I'm going to add in a little bit. Okay, I have a waterproof, it's a waterproof fine liner. Because if you use something that's soluble, the markers will just smudge that. All right, I'm just going to erase the pencil from that corner there. Now I want to bring some of these colours into our sky, so let's start with our mallow. And then I'm going to bring in my purple mallow. And I'll bring our mallow back just to do a bit of a blend. Now I am just going to bring a Jelly Roll ink pen in because I really want the lace on this to be white. And I've got a little bit of bleed, which I'm just going to go in and fix now. I've got a fine nib on this. This is a 0.05. Just giving me the ability to be really precise, which I wasn't with my markers. Well, you couldn't really be, could you? Because no matter what you do, you're going to get some bleed. But I think we'll really lift this dress if we can get some nice clean lace happening. That looks much better. All right, I'm bringing in a white pencil. I just want to bring out some highlights. I also want to bring out some highlights on this little eye. All right, I have a Naples yellow here. And I was just wanting to bring a little bit of texture and colour maybe into this sky. All right, here's a cadmium yellow. Go back to a light chrome yellow. Just trying to give a little bit of a glow around this guy. I think he deserves it. I'm going to stick with that light cadmium yellow. Just want to put a little bit of yellow in his eye. Maybe just boost the bit of this yellow we've got in here. And you know, I think let's do some of this purple mallow in the windows. This is mallow, sorry. I'm going to do a mix of the purple mallow and the mallow. So this is mallow. This is the purple mallow. I have Payne's grey here. I just want to fine tune a little bit of this steel that we've got here. really want to just pop out some highlights. So I'm bringing in an ink pen. This is Jelly Roll. It's a thicker one. It's a 1. We'll just finish this off. I just want to add a little bits of reflecting light in these. And while I've got it out, I'm going to do a bit of repair on this bits of bleed that I've got going on here. I think we need some stars in the sky. What do you think? Well, you know what? I think we're done. I'm going to call that one a day. That was a brisk walk from Steampunk Revival. And I've been looking forward to colouring that. I'm really happy with it. Like how we've got the shiny blue metal and then the dark steel underneath. And I'm quite happy with this dress too. And I love that we highlighted everything with a little bit of that crescent yellow to really bring it all together and lighten it up. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for colouring along. Hope you enjoyed today's colour along. I shall look forward to seeing you in another video, but for now I'm going to say goodbye and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.